the 25 million we got in a very short period of time. Strong support from Paradise, who were right into uranium. So they became a cornerstone investor with 9.9% of the company. And the whole premise of what we went out to do was say, we want the money to go and build the demonstration plant and operate it and get a study at the end of it.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV. Today I'm here at 1-to-1 Mining Investment Cape Town with Murray Hill, Managing Director and CEO at Elevate Uranium. So Murray, thanks again for joining us today.
Good morning, Amy. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day here in Cape Town. So, it's great to have Elevate joining us again at our event. But maybe you can kind of catch us up with what the company has been up to over the past year or so.
How long have you got?
All day.
We've been up to a lot. We've actually done a lot of drilling at the Koppies resource in Namibia, and we've converted 78% of that to indicated status, which is the first stage of de-risking the project. We've added another 10 million pounds in a maiden resource at Hirabeb, so now the Koppies project has got 66 million pounds. We think that's sufficient now to take full to development, so we're focused on that. We led a contract to design a demonstration plant and construct that in Perth to move it across to Namibia. And then at the end of the year, we raised 25 million. So a fantastic year for us.
Amazing. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about your different uranium assets. So you already talked a bit about Koppies, but looking at your resources in both Australia and Namibia, can you give us a bit more detail?
Yeah, so Namibia, we've got 160 million pounds globally. 2/3 of that's in Namibia. And we've added 66 million pounds over the last few years in Namibia on the Koppies project in particular. We're drilling at Namibia, which is part of Koppies at the moment. That's getting some good results. So we expect that, because that's one of our 4 discoveries we made over a period of 4 years. So it was Koppies, Hirabeb, Namibia and Capri. 2 of those are now resources. We expect the other 2 to be resources this year. So we're working on those. And we've also got some tenements we expect to get granted this year. So hopefully the 4 discoveries in 4 years will turn into 5 or 6. We'll see how that goes. And then Australia, we've got 48 million pounds of assets in Australia. So we're looking at a bit of rationalisation of those. So we're looking at sort of selling some, picking some more up to sort of, I think, centralise our facilities in terms of our deposits and our tenements. But also we want to do a little bit of drilling later this year on those, just to see what else we can do and see what we can find there.
Great. Sounds great. Definitely a lot to keep an eye on. Maybe we can talk a little bit about Elevate Uranium's upgrade beneficiation process. Can you give us a bit of detail about that?
Yeah, it's a process we've had for many years. We developed it ourselves. It lowers the cost base by 50%, CapEx and OpEx, we believe. And also what it does is it rejects a lot of gangue minerals, and we concentrate the uranium to less than 5% of the mass. So that gives us optionality as to how we develop projects. We think we can develop smaller projects and also lower grade projects than our peers because of the cost structure and what we can do, because we can take a concentrate to a third party. But what we need to do is we need to prove that in a demonstration plant. So this year is all about building a demonstration plant, getting it to Namibia and operating it. So that's the focus of that. So we want to prove that upgrade works, and then we want to do a study on the back of that to demonstrate the cost reduction we've been saying is accurate. So a lot of focus this year on upgrade itself.
Okay. And where are you with that upgrade process?
So we've let the contract, as I said before, for the design construction of the demo plant. That's going to happen in Perth. Mm-hmm. And then we hope to have it operating in Namibia later this year.
Okay, sounds great. And so last year you've completed a strong 25 million Australian dollar institutional placement. So can you talk a little bit about that and what you plan to do with that capital? So
we went to institutions. We want to institutionalise the register a bit more than we had, and we got very, very good response. So the 25 million we got in a very short period of time. Strong support from Paradise, who were right into uranium. So they became a cornerstone investor with 9.9% of the company. And the whole premise of what we went out to do was say, we want the money to go and build the demonstration plant and operate it and get a study at the end of it. So that's the whole focus of what we're doing. But at the same time, we've had 4 discoveries in 4 years. So we're very successful at exploration. We've been adding pounds. So we've got expenditure commitments on tenements. So we'll direct some of that money into continued exploration and adding pounds, because the more pounds we add in the Koppies area, the Koppies project, it's either increased throughput of the plant and production per year, or it's a longer mine life So it adds value to us.
Absolutely. And I mean, we didn't really get too much into this earlier, but uranium is having quite a, it's really in the news at the moment in terms of being a clean energy. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you see for the potential for the uranium market moving forward?
Yeah, look, it's been the hottest commodity on the planet for a number of years, and it continues to be that. The thing about uranium is that we're not producing enough uranium to supply nuclear reactors now, the current reactor fleet. So it's as much about current demand as about future demand. Now, future demand is going to be very big because you talked about AI.
Yeah.
So I hear that by 2030, 12% of the US electricity is going to be consumed by data centers, AI. Seeing Google, Microsoft, Amazon all signing contracts for off-grid power provided by nuclear. They understand they need a lot of power, and they also need it to be baseload. So they need it reliable, need it to be low carbon emission, and nuclear is that. So we're seeing that there's going to be a huge growth in AI and data centers, but we're also seeing that, what was it, COP28, they've committed, 30 countries now committed to tripling their nuclear. So the nuclear demand is going to increase exponentially over time. So we're quite excited about what it brings for us as a company, but it brings for the nuclear industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely part of the discourse that's happening globally. So you come to a lot of the one-to-one conferences. Can you talk a little bit about, what you're most excited about at this year's Cape Town and who you're looking to meet with?
Yeah, well, uranium still continues to be a hot commodity. So what we want to do is because not everybody knows who Elevate Uranium is. So we want people to be, when they talk about uranium, they want to talk about Elevate, first off, not any other company. So the idea is to come here, promote the company, talk to investors that don't know the story, because you go to an investor and say, I want to raise some money. They're not going to do it straight away. So you need to go and build a relationship. So I'm coming in to see people that I haven't seen before. And that's important for us to spread the news. And then when we do need some money in the future, we can go and tap them, or they can come in and invest on market. So it's all about promoting the company and building contacts that we can, access capital later on.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess just to round things out, can you talk a little bit about what else you hope to achieve in 2025 with Upgrade, your projects in Namibia and Australia?
So this year is all about Upgrade for us. That's the focus of the year. So we want to build our demonstration plant in Australia, get it moved across to Namibia and operate that, prove that Upgrade works, and then move into a study. At the same time, we've got expenditure commitments on our tenements in Namibia and Australia, so we're going to continue exploration. We've been successful in Namibia, 4 discoveries in a period of 4 years, and building a large resource base at Koppies, so we want to continue that. So we'll do that. We've directed some of the money towards that, of our 25 million, but also some exploration in Australia. But the primary focus is on getting Upgrade proved this year.
Sounds great. Definitely a lot for us to catch up with you on later on in the year.
Yeah.
So Murray, anyway, thank you for joining us here in Cape Town.
My pleasure.